Hey folks, welcome to episode 4 of GameFitz. Today we review another sports game, and it is NHL 12 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. As with any sports game, NHL 12 is light on the story. You create your own, from one of two ways, by picking a team and playing through seasons or tournaments, or creating your own player or picking a classic pro and working your way from the minor leagues all the way to the majors, completing goals as you go. NHL 12 is high quality audio for a sports game, but there is room for improvement. There are many sound effects from sticks breaking to player hits to pucks hitting the crossbar and more. The voiceovers are quite good and use ESPN's Gary Thorne for play-by-play and Bill Clement from NBC for color commentary. Much of the color commentary is reused from NHL 11. This is problematic when playing with the Winnipeg Jets because they are sometimes called the Atlanta Thrashers, a team which the Jets replaced. In each match, you also hear generic voices doing player smack talk, a nice touch. Every arena has the same voiceover actor. That should be fixed. However, the voiceover actors is quite good and will even read out cities and clubs for any teams you possibly create. The game's music is good, however the soundtrack is small, including 14 songs. Bands from the soundtrack include Against Me, Manchester Orchestra, Billy Idol, and more. NHL 12's visuals are pretty good for a sports game. All but one of the 30 NHL arenas are realistically created within the game. The only reason the one isn't is because the Winnipeg Jets are new to the league. The stadium will be realistic next year. For the NHL teams with special entrances, those entrances have been recreated in the game. Edmonton has a giant flaming oil well, and San Jose a large inflatable shark gate. This adds much of the NHL's uniqueness to the game. Heinz Field looks great for the NHL Classic. There are many special effects for the Winter Classic, such as fireworks and snow effects. These special effects are passable, they could easily be greatly improved. Crowds are fully animated in 3D, wearing many different team-related products. They don't look great, but they are actually animated unlike in most sports games, so I must give kudos for that. Player models look great except for faces, which are only mediocre. Players are recognizable, but they are not yet photorealistic. The game runs really smooth when offline, which is great to see, and there are only the occasional visual glitches. In my opinion, NHL 12 has the best gameplay of any sports game this year. This is mostly due to the fast, smooth nature of hockey, and the fact that EA has created a control scheme that focuses on the two thumbsticks and triggers for nearly all of the controls. The analog thumbsticks are used for shooting, checking, face-offs, and fighting, whilst the triggers are used for picking pass types, poke checking, and switching players whilst on defense. These controls allow for complete control of both the player and his or her stick. The game's AI is great too, learning and reacting to your habits. It is also accurate for players such as Dustin Byfuglien, who tend to leave their position in search of hits, fights, and goals. The controls and AI are amazing, but you need modes to use them in, and NHL 12 comes packed with game modes. They include Play Now, Ultimate Hockey Team, Winter Classic, EA Sports Hockey League, Be a Pro, Be a Legend, Be a GM, Playoff Mode, Tournament Mode, Custom Play, Practice Mode, Shootouts, the Creation Zone, and Online Play Modes. First, let's look at Play Now. This game type lets you play a game with any created teams or included teams within the game. Of course, the NHL is included, but other international and smaller leagues are included too. There are representations of national teams too, but EA Sports doesn't have the IIHL's rights to use any actual national jerseys. Also, for some smaller hockey nations such as Great Britain and Japan, the player rosters are mostly made up. Again, all of the leagues and nations can be used and played against each other, so you can have your own custom team face Canada, Munich's Ice Hockey Club, the LA Kings, or Regina Pats. Any of those combinations are possible. Next, we have Hockey Ultimate Team. In this mode, you play games to collect arena, city, player, and equipment cards. The more cards you collect, the better a team you can create. This game type is also in FIFA 12. This mode isn't for me, but if you're a huge fan of hockey and only want offline play, this may be the mode for you. The Winter Classic mode is a simple version of Play Now that puts you in this year's NHL Classic match in Pittsburgh. You can play with any of the teams in this mode, as well as the actual teams from the NHL Classic. EA Sports Hockey League is a simplified and special mode where you can upload your own created teams and players and play against other people's created teams and players. Next, we have the Be a Pro mode, where you get to create your own custom player and work your way up from the minor leagues to the major leagues. You only play that one player and focus on playing that position properly. You also have the Be a Legend mode. It's very similar to the Be a Pro, but you play with the classic legends such as Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky, or Mario Lemieux, and try to achieve what they actually achieved in the NHL. Next, we talk about Be a GM mode. In Be a GM mode, you get to be a general manager for your team like you do in other EA Sports games. You control your players, you fire, you hire, you do drafts, and so on. This isn't as deep as other Be a GM modes in other EA Sports games. You also have a playoff mode if you simply just want to play playoffs, a season mode to play a full season with any league including playoffs, a tournament mode to set up an international tournament, a create your own mode to make any mode you would like that doesn't already exist, a practice mode if you want to practice your skills, and a shootout mode to practice your goalie and your shooting skills. We also have the creation zone where you can create your own team. You can pick a name, city, colors, and more. There are a limited number of logos which you can pick from, and some of the possible names do not have an accompanying logo, which is quite odd. You can build your team's roster from any players from any league, or even create your own players within the creation zone. And finally, we have the online modes. They include ranked or just regular player matches, or even online leagues for money or just for fun. The games are quite fast, but if you do get lag, it can ruin a game. You also get lots of players who will quickly leave a game if they know they're going to lose, which ruins the fun. And the verdict for NHL 12? This game is a buy. This was the hardest sports game to put as just a buy for me, because it's by far the biggest value for any sports game. There's lots of modes to play with, both online and offline. Pretty good presentation, and it's something you can keep coming back to over and over again. If you're not familiar with hockey, there's a lot to learn, but this game is a great step for you to learning the great game. Thanks for watching this episode of GameFitz. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm going to try to put a regular schedule in, so every Sunday expect a new episode. That means hit the subscribe button and the like button. Comment below as I already mentioned, and thanks for watching GameFitz.